Is perimenopause ruining your sleep? You are not alone. From tossing and turning to waking up at 3 a.m. wide awake, sleep issues are one of the most frustrating symptoms of this hormone transition, and it can make other symptoms like brain fog and fatigue even worse. But the good news, there are actually things you can do to sleep better, starting tonight. Hey there, I'm Christy Carlson, a nutritional therapy practitioner who helps women in their late 30s and 40s feel like themselves again through real food and root cause strategies. If you're ready for hormone support that actually makes sense, hit like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So anyone who knows me well knows I am very high maintenance when it comes to my sleep. And for good reason. I had zero issues sleeping until my late 30s, and then suddenly it all came crashing down. And that crash was one of my first big signs of perimenopause for me, and it led to some really restless nights. I've had to get super intentional about sleep habits and tools, and today I'm sharing the exact strategies that have made the biggest difference for me and my clients. Tip number 1, create a non-negotiable bedtime routine. This is the foundation of good sleep. Think of a consistent, calming bedtime routine as training your brain to wind down. Your body runs on a 24-hour clock called the circadian rhythm. And one of the biggest signals that your brain uses to know it's time to sleep is light. Overhead lights, especially bright light or blue-toned lights, can delay melatonin production, a key hormone that makes you sleepy. Try switching to warm, low light in the evening. Salt lamps, dimmable bulbs, or even just lamp lighting is better than harsh overhead lights. And you already know this one, but screens are another huge sleep disruptor, even with blue light filters. The brightness and the stimulation from scrolling still tells your brain to stay alert. Instead, build a bedtime routine that helps your nervous system shift into rest mode. So think things like herbal tea, a warm bath, stretching, putting your legs up on the wall, reading a paper book, journaling, whatever tells your brain to slow down. Also, try to go to bed around the same time every night when you can. A consistent sleep schedule helps your body know when it's time to wind down and when it's time to wake up, which improves both sleep quality and energy the next day. Tip number 2, avoid eating or drinking too close to bedtime. Sometimes it's simply unavoidable, but eating within 2 hours of bedtime can be messing with your sleep. When you eat too close to bedtime, your body shifts focus on digestion and increases your metabolism. That can raise your body temperature and blood sugar, both of which make it harder to fall into a deep sleep and stay sleeping. If you find yourself waking up during the night, especially around 2 to 3 a.m., it could be a sign of a blood sugar dip. And given that digestion naturally slows in the evening, eating too close to bedtime can make digestion a bit more difficult. Try to stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, and if you need a snack, keep it small and protein-based, like a boiled egg or a spoonful of almond butter. Now, certainly there is a little bit of nuance here. Some people do need more carbohydrates at night, but this is always a really great place to start. And let's not forget about liquids. Of course, I'm a huge fan of proper hydration, but cramming it in at night is not it. Drinking too much water or tea close to bed can mean multiple wake-ups to pee. Slowly taper your liquids after dinner and try to stop drinking at least an hour before bed, except if you need to take medication or supplements. And I always like to say with hydration, front load it. Drink more of it earlier in the day so you're not having to cram it in so much in the evening. Tip number 3, use some tools to upgrade your sleep environment. Now here's where we get into the game changers, at least for me. You don't need to go crazy with all of them, and you might need to experiment a little bit to find what's right for you, but the right tools can make a world of difference. The first one is earplugs. As fellow moms can attest, when I became a mom, I became a super light sleeper. So I actually use soft silicone earplugs every night to block out the minor sounds that used to wake me up. And don't worry, I can still hear when my kids need me or the smoke alarm goes off, but it helps to drown out those smaller noise interruptions to keep me sleeping. And sort of on that same front is a white noise machine. We started using one as a hand-me-down from our kids, and we will not turn back. We use the Dome and we love it. Similar to earplugs, this can help mask those unpredictable sounds like traffic, your partner shifting in bed, or your dog having a bad dream. The next one is an eye mask or blackout curtains. Even small amounts of light can signal your brain to wake up. Darkness equals deeper sleep. So try an eye mask or invest in blackout curtains if light leaks in. And be aware of other sources of light in the room, like alarm clocks or power buttons. If you have a power light that stays on all night, sometimes taping a piece of electric tape can be helpful to drown out that light and keep it very dark in your room. Okay, this next one sounds a little weird, but stay with me. Mouth tape. A lot of us mouth breathe at night without realizing it, and this can lead to not only dry mouth and more snoring, of course, but also reduced oxygen levels while you're sleeping, which impacts the quality of your sleep. Mouth taping gently encourages nasal breathing by, obviously, keeping your mouth shut, which can support deeper sleep, better oxygen flow, and even help calm your nervous system. I use simple 3M micropore tape. There are fancier options out there, but this is inexpensive and available at all drugstores, and it's super breathable and easy to remove. Of course, if you can't breathe well through your nose, don't tape your mouth shut, but that's actually a great reason to dig deeper. I'd recommend looking into support from a myofunctional therapist, an ENT, an airway-focused dentist, or a sleep specialist. Nasal breathing is really important. It doesn't just help your sleep, it's how your body filters, humidifies, and pressurizes air to optimize oxygen delivery, which supports stress regulation and promotes a better overall health. And when you spend 7+ hours a night sleeping, that time adds up big and can make a huge impact on your health. And this last one is probably the most high maintenance of all, but it is a cooling mattress pad or bedding. Your body needs to drop in temperature slightly to fall asleep and stay asleep. And we know that gets much more difficult in this time of transition. So we use something called the Uller, which is a temperature controlled mattress pad to stay cool throughout the night. I can just set it to my own personal setting through an app on my phone, and it changes throughout the night as I set it. But you don't need to have a big gadget like that. Even a fan or lightweight breathable sheets can be a big help. Tip number 4, this is one people are always pretty excited about, is supporting sleep with smart supplementation. Before we dive in, just a friendly reminder, this video is for educational purposes only. Always check with your provider before adding any new supplements, especially if you're on medications. That said, here are some options that I love and often recommend to my clients. The first one is magnesium glycinate. This form of magnesium is calming and gentle on the digestive system. It helps relax muscles and support GABA production, which is a neurotransmitter that promotes calmness. Since magnesium is depleted by stress, and let's be honest, this life stage sure can be stressful, many women benefit from this daily supplementation during this transition, aside from its sleep benefits. So if you're open to trying this one, you could start with 200 to 400 milligrams at night. Another form of magnesium that you could try is magnesium threonate. That is another one that helps support brain health and cognitive function and can help improve sleep quality. But magnesium glycinate is always my go-to. The next one is glycine. This is an amino acid that lowers core body temperature slightly and helps support that deeper sleep. Now, if you don't want to supplement with this right away, you could drink something like a bone broth. Sip on that as part of your bedtime routine to help increase those glycine levels. Otherwise, if you want to try supplementation, around 3 grams before bed can be effective for some people. And then another one to consider is L-theanine. It's an amino acid that helps calm the brain by boosting your feel-good neurotransmitters like GABA and serotonin. It doesn't make you feel drowsy, but it does help quiet that racing monkey brain and take the edge off, especially if you're wired and tired or wide awake at 3 a.m. It can be a great gentle option to help you wind down without feeling groggy the next morning. And you might notice that I haven't said melatonin. While it can be helpful in the short term for things like jet lag or resetting your sleep rhythm, it's not always the best starting point. Your body makes melatonin naturally, and high-dose supplements can sometimes throw things off instead of helping. And tip number 5 is to track what works and what doesn't. Improving your sleep is often about patterns, and the best way to spot those patterns is to track them. I personally use an Oura Ring, which gives me data on deep sleep, REM, and heart rate variability. It lets me see how changes in my routine affect my recovery and sleep quality. You can also use tools from brands like Fitbit, Garmin, Whoop, or even a sleep tracking app. Pay attention to how much deep sleep you get and how often you wake up and how rested you feel in the morning. Of course, data isn't everything, and these trackers are not perfect. How you feel is truly most important, but it can be a nice complementary tool that helps take the guesswork out. If your deep sleep improves after adding magnesium or cutting back on evening sugar, then that's a sign that you're on the right track. And bonus tip is calm your nervous system during the day. Quality sleep doesn't start at night, it starts during the day. If your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight mode, it's going to be really hard to switch into rest mode when the lights go out. So try to add at least one calming practice during the day. A short walk outside without devices and sunlight on your eyeballs, 5 minutes of deep breathing, yoga, journaling, or even a mindful lunch without distractions. And if you have one of these practices down already, add another 5-minute set somewhere else in the day. This might sound crazy, but you're teaching your body that it's safe to rest. And that shift shows up at night with better sleep. All right, I hope this was helpful. Sleep does not have to be impossible because you're in perimenopause. Which of these tips are you most excited to try, or what works well for you? Drop a comment below and let me know where your sleep struggles have been. I'd love to support you there. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's tired of being tired. Remember, your body's not broken, it's just changing. And better sleep is possible.